October 10, 2010, the Netherlands Antilles was dismantled. Since then, Bonaire, Sint Eustatius and Ceiba are part of the country, the Netherlands. Each island is a country in itself, with its own ports and airports. The islands are too small to offer all forms of education, medical care, or for example, police services. It was agreed that after 5 years, the new constitutional structure would be evaluated. An independent committee investigated the functioning of legislation, governance and the consequences for the population.
De commissie heeft haar werk zo onafhankelijk mogelijk proberen te doen. Dat kon alleen dankzij de bijdrage van heel veel inwoners, ondernemers en medewerkers van overheden op Bonaire, Saba en Statia en in Den Haag. En daar willen we iedereen heel hartelijk voor bedanken.
Since 10-10-10, a lot has changed in Bonaire, Sint Eustatius and Ceiba. These changes were prepared and implemented within a short period of time. On the 3 islands as well as by the national government, a lot of money, time and energy has been invested for the transition to be successful. In 2010, optimism predominated and the expectations were high. The past few years, a lot of work has been done. However, the results of these efforts are variable. Certainly, positive results have been obtained, for example, in healthcare and education. Less favorable results can be seen in the areas of safety and road maintenance. In addition, the poverty has increased. Healthcare has greatly improved. Since 2011, there is a mandatory health insurance with a wide compensation package. Hospitals and institutions are investing in infrastructure and appliances. Public health care, mental health care, elderly care, and addiction treatment have also improved. In Bonaire, 59% of the people indicate that the healthcare has improved since the transition. In Sint Eustatius, that is 56%, and in Ceiba, 60%. With regard to education, the buildings and lesson materials have improved. It was agreed to work on 5 cases as a matter of priority: overall quality, better teachers, directors and boards, attention for special students, and attractive vocational education. 54% of the people in Bonaire indicate that the education has improved. In Sint Eustatius, it is 48%, and in Ceiba, 49%. The committee concludes that successes were achieved in areas where the plans were ambitious and the agreements concrete.
Er waren 4 belangrijke pilaren, waaronder healthcare een van de belangrijkste is. En dat kan je wel zien, er is heel veel geld in gestoken.
There's a lot of things that improve, such as the healthcare. In between the healthcare business, there's a lot of changes go on there too. But for me, the healthcare is looking much more better.
What is most striking is the increase in poverty. The expectation in 2010 was that the people would progress financially. The reality, however, is that the financial situation of many people has declined after 2010. The costs of transport, water, internet, and energy are high and hardly affordable to some people. The people are indicating that their purchasing power has significantly been reduced. In Bonaire and Sint Eustatius, 72% state that their purchasing power has declined, and in Ceiba, 76%. Despite many investments, crime figures show that the islands have not become safer. Police stations have been refurbished, but the training of police officers takes time. In Bonaire, 52% feels that the safety has declined, while 31% in Sint Eustatius and 27% on Ceiba have seen a decline. In Bonaire, 20% indicates to have seen improvements. On Sint Eustatius, this is 31%, and Ceiba, 39%. The maintenance of the physical infrastructure such as roads is also falling short. For years, there have been debates on how this matter should be resolved.
You can't spend because they stop you from going to the bank to get a loan. That is number one. Number 2, everything skyrocket, gone up high. Number 3, all kind of laws coming down here. Every time they put a law in Holland, they want to put it down here on us. And the problem is they are treating us as if we are not even third-class citizens. They're treating us as if we're nobody. They don't care nothing about us.
Well, para mim, me ganhei gewoon, dat se me trabalho, mas nem costumra. E eu gosto que o câmbio tá cambiamento de placa antiliano para dólar. Pero me tá vive tranquilo, sim, puni. Se você vai para gasta demais, você não quer sem nada. Pero quando vai pouco a pouco, você acaba luna.
How is it possible that despite all efforts, the results are less than expected? The committee concluded that the disappointing results are caused by a number of factors. Agreements are not always clear and are explained differently. The most startling example is the agreement to reach a standard of provision that is acceptable within the Netherlands. The differences in language, culture and scale complicate the cooperation between Bonaire, Sint-Eustatius, Ceiba and the national government. The approach of the national government is fragmented, and knowledge of the specific circumstances in Bonaire, Sint-Eustatius and Ceiba is often limited. In addition, the local government is not yet of adequate quality. Not all developments in Bonaire, Sint-Eustatius and Ceiba since 10-10-10 are related to the constitutional reform. Similar to the European Netherlands, the islands were also affected by the global economic and financial crisis. Apart from the crisis, the economic development is also limited. Bonaire, Sint-Eustatius, Ceiba and the European Netherlands lack a shared approach that offers economic prospects for the future. Currently on the islands there is a collective and since 2010 progressively increasing sense of disappointment. The high expectations that people had on 10-10-10 have not been realized. That is, to a large extent, attributable to the level of prosperity. Since 2010, the living standard has decreased, including for those with a job. It has been investigated whether the people felt if the circumstances are better or worse now in comparison with the situation before the transition. In Bonaire, 25% thinks that the situation has improved. In Sint-Eustatius, this is 13% and Ceiba, 36%. On the other hand, 41% of the people in Bonaire, 65% in Sint-Eustatius and 41% in Ceiba say that the situation has declined.
Dat Bonaire los is gekomen van de Nederlandse Antillen is voor mij een pluspunt. Dat wij een directe band met Nederland hebben is volgens mij nog beter. Alleen heb ik wel mijn eigen opinie over hoe het gegaan is. De invulling moet nog eigenlijk afgemaakt worden met de wensen, met de noden die wij eigenlijk op het eiland hebben.
Changes in the beginning is always complicated, and there are things that I don't think it's you could just like certain things just push down people's throat. That I don't find is right, because you sort of feel uncomfortable or you don't feel all right in your environment. The second chamber or the first chamber, they came here so they had an opportunity to have an assessment or evaluate certain things and say, well, oh, we didn't know this, we didn't know that. Because I felt to myself that the way of life in Holland, it's a whole different setting on Sabah. You cannot, it doesn't match, it doesn't work, you know.
De commissie concludeert dat er in 5 jaar tijd heel veel werk is verzet. Tegelijkertijd moeten we concluderen dat de balans na 5 jaar nog niet positief is. Maar 5 jaar is natuurlijk best kort. Daarom spreekt de commissie de wens uit dat de resultaten van de evaluatie gebruikt gaan worden. Gebruikt gaan worden om samen met de bewoners van Bonaire, Saba en Statia concrete maatregelen af te gaan spreken die in het belang zijn van iedereen die op Bonaire, Saba of Statia woont of werkt.